Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Asaratha.
Sometimes if I concentrate really hard, it's like I can still hear his voice.
I know, it's dark. It's dark. It's
If I
it's truly sad days out here.
if I close my eyes and I put my headphones, I push them into my ears, it's almost like I can still hear him.
It's a sad time indeed.
And now let's make it even more sad and let's talk about some manga.
Yeah, let's talk about Shonen Jump. That's a good way to get sad. All right. Is there any news? Is there any news that we need to talk about?
uh
I honestly haven't been keeping up.
if there is, I forgore.
Yeah, same.
So how
Obviously, Green
important
Green
could it be?
Greens is kaput.
Did we already talk about Oh no, because I think it happened during the Ocean Man episode.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Days is finally getting an anime.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, no, we did. Isn't that getting the Netflix one?
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
think
we've
so.
talked about
I
that
don't
before.
remember.
I think we've talked about that before. Maybe not. It's getting a Netflix anime. Could be good. Could be. Uh-oh. Well, I guess we'll
Alright,
see.
if we haven't or have talked about this, let us know in the comments and we'll make sure to read them in 3 episodes and we'll talk about it 3 episodes from now, okay?
That's the plan. Did anything else die other than Greens?
Yes. What was it called? It's one that we don't read.
So we already
It's
talking about
Dear.
it.
It's Dear. What's it?
Dear Anemone?
Yeah, that one. That I think that got axed
Did it? It
recently.
says new chapter in 3 days. Maybe it just got
I
axed
think
and
that's the
it's.
last one.
Oh man. Damn, axed at 17. That's brutal.
I heard some people were talking about that. It's interesting. I obviously I didn't read it because Zen didn't shove it in my face and tell me to read it, but I heard some people liked it.
Yeah, I read like a chapter of it and it was like, this is alright. I'll just move on.
And yet we're still reading Astro Royale.
Man, barely.
it's, I'll save my thoughts.
Yeah,
Good lord.
yeah, fair enough. All right, well we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the big dose here because we got to get them out of the way first.
Yeah, it's a
Then we
shame the
can roll
JJK part's
into.
gonna be like 3 seconds long.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, now that you say that, let's go ahead and do that one right now.
It's
Hold
like,
on.
isn't it
It's got
like
like
7 or 8 pages?
it's 7 pages, I'm pretty sure.
That is brutal. And also, isn't it kind of unprecedented for both Hori and Gege to go on a break at the same
At the
time?
same
And
time,
they're
yeah,
both 2 weeks. They're both 2 week breaks.
yeah. I saw some people being like, "What if this is a test run for when they're gonna be gone because it's ending soon? They're both
That's
ending
what I
soon."
heard. Yeah.
I think it's just that Elden Ring DLC is coming out soon, and they were both like, "We're not doing it," and they
Holy
have the
dude.
pull to not do it. So
When Jump realizes that when JJK and MHA are gone, the sales go up.
somehow it gets better. Yeah. So I mean,
People are
it's
like,
just
oh,
2 weeks
finally.
for Kagurabachi to run this shit like it always does.
Now we're gonna have some commenter going like, "What about One Piece?"
Yeah. What about One Piece, dog? What about it? Ocean Man is gone. All right, your token positivity toward One
Oh
Piece
my
is gone.
god, there were so many comments about Ocean Man's like
Liking One
heel
Piece
turn
now.
about One
Yeah.
Piece or something. I don't know. I obviously I wasn't here, and I don't really. I slander One Piece sometimes as a joke. I have no actual feelings about it because I haven't read it. Good
It's
for you guys though.
fine.
Glad you're having fun.
I don't dislike it. I don't want to commit the time to reading it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
7 pages is this like this might be one of the lowest page counts I've ever seen,
Yeah, it's super low. He was sick
and
and
nothing
then going
happened,
on break, and nothing. Yeah, nothing really happened.
which is
Um,
fine. I get it.
yeah, I don't know. He opened his domain and then they
He got punched,
punched and they got punched in the face.
and then
Yeah,
Yuta's fucking dead body is lying on the floor.
yeah, getting clutched by. Why did they question? All right, this is just a logistical question. If
Yes, sir.
they cut open Yuta's head, scooped his
Is
brain
this
out.
about the time? Is this gonna be about the time limit?
No,
Okay.
if they cut Yuta's head open and they took his brain out, like like when you scoop the guts out of a pumpkin, and then they put
Yeah.
his brain into Gojo's body. I guess they ditched Gojo's brain. It's just somewhere else. Um, why did they stitch Yuta's head back closed on his body that's got no brain in it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I bet you Gojo's brain is in there, and he's. What if he comes back as Yuta?
They just switch.
Would that be kind of crazy, man?
Yeah, I just don't know why did they put Yuta's little head cap back on? Because it's
I
just
mean,
empty.
maybe
Presumably, it's just empty right now.
that'd be really. I don't see the stitches on Yuta's forehead. I don't know about you. It might be covered by the
Well,
blood though.
I think the line across his forehead
Maybe.
is meant to. I don't think they stitched it. Maybe they just set it on top and it's just sitting there.
Fucking Rika has to keep setting it back on because he keeps
Yeah,
toppling
Rika
off.
has to keep stopping it from sliding off.
This plot decision is still so strange to me. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't get it.
it
Because
feels
he's
really
not gonna
it feels really
he's not
weird.
gonna win, right? So like,
Yeah. So
why
Yuta's just
even?
dead.
Well, even if Yuta was just dead anyway, it's like why would you bring him back for this if it's gonna just not advance anything? He's just gonna die again. You know?
So also, so yeah, Yuta's curse technique has a 5 minute time limit on copies, right?
Yeah.
So we had to copy Kenjaku's CT, and then Shoko had to do brain surgery, and then he had to go to the fight. So he's gonna have like 30 seconds. He's gonna like land one
Yeah,
hit
well,
and then
how
just fall over
maybe
and die.
yeah. Well, he seems to think that he has enough time, because he's like, I need to do enough damage to Sukuna in 3 minutes to break
Yeah.
Malevolent Shrine, which seems like a stupid plan because, like, yes, Gojo could do that, but Gojo's also presumably a better fighter than Yuta is,
Yeah.
one would assume. So, I don't know. This seems like a mediocre plan, to be honest. I don't know. And then Rika is like very sad over Yuta's body.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess Rika can't tell that Yuta's in Gojo now. Like, I don't
I don't
know.
know. It's
She doesn't have
I
object
honestly
permanence, I guess, like a
I,
dog, so she just doesn't know.
if I had to guess, this was only included to add that one extra page just so Gege could go take a
Just
break.
stop. Yeah.
It's probably literally just a nothing page,
Yeah,
or
he's like, I gotta
or
get
it,
this shit over with, please.
or it's closing in on Yuta's eyes because it's foreshadowing the Gojo return in Yuta's body. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
If if Gojo wakes up in Yuta's body, I will fucking die laughing, dude. You have no idea. There's no way that's what they're going for. That would be the stupidest shit on the planet.
It'd be really funny though, man.
It would be really funny, but I have no
See,
idea what the fuck.
the whole time, man, I've been on the I want Gojo back because it'd be funny grind set, and now there's like two opportunities for it. What if, as another Toji parallel, Gojo comes back in his own body, or now, what if Gojo wakes up in Yuta's body? It's a fucking there's so many possible W.
Imagine how funny it would be if Yuta runs out of time and then Gojo's soul like pastes over his brain or whatever, and then Gojo's back in his
Yeah.
own body, and then he still loses again because Yuji has to win. Like Yuji's got to win this, right? So they're gonna do all this shit, and they're gonna bring Gojo back, and he's still gonna lose.
That's really funny, man. He just
Like,
gets one tapped again.
yeah, he just gets cut in half a second time.
Sukuna makes another binding though, and then
Yeah,
it cuts in half
I
again.
made a binding vow that I would no longer get chicken in my fried rice. And now my previous binding vow about not being able to use World Slash without chanting is nullified.
I can no longer get the Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. It's my binding vow.
Every time I go to Taco Bell from now on, I have to wait until it gets a little nasty. I have to take too long before I start eating it. And now I can use the World Slash as much as I want.
Can't get the Baja Blast no more, bro.
Oh my god. It's way worse than death.
Finally, some real consequences with these vows, man.
Finally,
That's what
some
we all wanna
stakes in
see.
my manga.
Yeah, I mean, not really much to talk about.
No, nothing happened.
Really,
And
really, all you could do with this chapter is crack some jokes.
yeah, pretty much. Speaking of cracking jokes, next up is My Hero Academia.
I'm still hard stuck on chapter 30 of the series, so
I
you're
just
gonna have
want
to
to
take
point
the
out
reins.
that Deku is the worst protagonist in the history of Jump because imagine going out there. No, I'm not even kidding. He might be the single worst protagonist ever created because imagine going out there and risking your life to defeat the most powerful evil there has ever been. And then the first thing that your crush says to you is, "Damn, your hair looks like shit. I hope it grows back." Like, this dude, what a
I mean,
miserable fucking week he's having.
I don't remember these epilogue chapters weren't out when we talked with Ocean Man, right? It was just him one-shotting
Correct.
Shigaraki, right? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh god, where do I even start, man? Deku is quirkless and he doesn't give a fuck, which is it's absurd to me, genuinely mind-bogglingly bad, personally. Some people are like, "Oh, he's hiding it." I don't think he is, man. I really don't think he
Well, see,
is.
even if he is,
And
I'm getting kind of tired of that excuse because it seems to happen every single time something happens that Deku has no opinion on.
yes,
Um,
that's what
they're
people were
like,
saying back in Villain Hunt.
yeah, they're like, well, obviously you don't know this story or character at all because he's the type to bottle his feelings up. But like, I am not a character in the
He's
story. You don't have to
also
bottle your feelings up from me.
no, he's not.
Yeah, not
He
really.
was
He does a lot of
literally
screaming and
slandered consistently for being a crybaby.
for showing his emotions too much. Yeah,
Yeah. So no, he's not. He really.
but like, even if he is, the sheer volume of like, oh, how do I phrase this? The fact that I've had people call me illiterate and then say Deku is obviously feeling this way about it, and then I've had other people call me illiterate and saying that I can't read, and then their reasoning
Yeah.
is completely opposite what the
Yeah.
previous
Nobody.
person's
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I've seen Bubba talk about that too. That like nobody can agree on what Deku is feeling
Right.
because
Nobody can
it's
agree what
bad.
Deku is feeling other than whatever they think is correct, and everyone who
Yeah.
doesn't think it is stupid. And
I
that's a
mean,
really exhausting way to look at any sort of art.
I remember posting this in your replies a couple weeks ago. What it looks like when Hori actually writes somebody who's hiding their feelings, and it's that Bakugo stuff from
Yeah, where he's
post
like
Kamina.
visibly not acting like
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's multiple panels of him looking off suspiciously, whereas
And
Deku is
also
just
you're
like, "No, I'm
taking
okay."
like a very boisterous character and you're making
Yeah.
him very visibly solemn. Deku is just kind of like a quiet little dude, just like a little guy. And so when you
Quote,
draw him as just a little guy, it's like, what am I supposed to get from that?
quote. Yup, but I never had a quirk in the first place, so I can't be too broken up about it. Actually, one of the worst protagonists in Weekly Shonen Jump. Like, wow.
All I'm
Literally,
saying
who
is,
even is this?
all I'm saying is the panel where Aoyama is trying to feed him a fucking piece of like cheese or whatever that is, and he looks like he's about to cry, is a panel where he looks like he's visibly hiding his feelings. A panel where he's just like, I don't even gotta have no quirk no more, buddy, in the hospital bed does not look that way.
It's that's uh,
Like, and then they're like, okay, well, obviously he's hiding his feelings about it. But then when Bakugo gets upset, he has an immediate emotional reaction to Bakugo's
yeah.
feelings. So why is it that that is something he can feel, but he can't feel anything about himself ever anymore? I don't think it's
The
necessarily out of character. It's just really fucking boring.
people are pointing out that Deku's speech bubble on page 12 is squiggly. That means he's hiding his feelings. That's only because Bakugo starts crying. That's it.
Yeah,
I 100% guarantee you that's it.
that's after Bakugo gets upset and he's trying
That's
to
literally
console
it. Yeah.
Bakugo about it.
Deku went from literally collapsing, literally falling to his knees in a Walmart parking lot because he's being called a hero, to losing his quirk and then going, yeah, but like I never had one, so it's fine.
It's chill, yeah.
It
Also, I think it kind of
Deku,
sucks that Deku's moment where All Might calls him the greatest hero, it ends up becoming the pair of greatest
yeah,
heroes to this
shared with
guy who
Bakugo.
didn't do shit.
I mean, it's kind of just a trend with Deku where his entire character arc and like all of his moments are sacrificed for the sake of Bakugo, basically.
It's really weird how much like what do you mean that
Even now, like this thing we're complaining about where Deku has no reaction to him being quirkless, Bakugo has a reaction.
yeah, Bakugo is the one who actually gets to have an emotional feeling
And
about it.
this is what always happens. Bakugo gets all of Deku's moments, and Deku is just nothing. It even goes all the way back to provisional license exam with Deku versus Bakugo 2, which this is probably well, maybe not anymore, but this was my most unpopular MHA opinion, is that fight sucks because Deku is a non-character in it and it's all Bakugo. That was some crazy foreshadowing, by the way. That was One Piece level foreshadowing. Yeah.
It's
So
just
far,
weird. It's just weird.
so far the epilogue is really bad.
Hey,
Not liking it.
so Do you think it's really funny that all of the villains are dead except for Dobby, who's in like a Star Wars back to tank at the end of this, still alive somehow?
If this is really what's happening, I'm pretty sure there is an episode in this podcast where I mention, and you probably said the same thing too. Wouldn't it be funny if everyone died but Dobby?
Yeah, we've
like,
definitely said that multiple times. If everyone's
like,
dead except for the guy who's literally a flaming skeleton.
let's see. Talking about the second epilogue chapter, uh, Present Mike got he had his moment with his childhood best friend who came back partially and then got killed by a student, and then he
Yeah,
just goes
hey,
and
did he
DJs at
actually
graduation.
kill him? Because I
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
dead. Yeah, he's dead.
I was like, man, maybe he just like dissipated the portal. Why did Bakugo kill him?
He's gone,
He
and
was on their side.
President Mike is DJing at a graduation like a week after his childhood friend got murdered.
Like he's like, I just don't understand that. Like, why did Bakugo kill him? He just needed to kill someone because everyone else was doing it. And he was like, well, I'm not falling behind.
Yeah, that was the real thing. He had to even up the score with Deku's kill count.
Yeah, do you think when he did that, Eraserhead was like, what the fuck? Like, what? He was helping.
Let's see. Aoyama's leaving UA. I don't really give a
I don't
shit.
care about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Shinso's joining UA. That's 1A. That's cool, I guess. He's cool.
It's the fucking epilogue though. So like, it would be cool if there was content with him after this, but there's not going to be.
uh, what else? Oh yeah, Invisible Girl's quirk bugs out for some reason. Why is that happening? That doesn't. It's so stupid. Anyway, it's just so that she can be naked, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, so that someone can say, "Wow, you're really cute," and they give it like the little rapist emoji.
Uh, yeah. Ochako dunks on Deku. He really should just kill himself at this point. Bakugo's probably right.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, that was the real foreshadowing. Was at the start of the series, Bakugo was right the whole time. It's so fucking funny that they finally get a chance to talk, and she's like, "Oh wow, your hair looks
You're
like
ugly.
shit. You're really ugly now." I hope they fix that.
People are also supposing that maybe Ochako is hiding her feelings. I hope so, because otherwise it's bad.
Yeah, that
But I don't
sucks if
know.
her real feelings are that. Damn, you ugly now, dog.
A lot of people are also under the assumption that because there's a new villain introduced, the series just got 2 more volumes. And all I can say to that is, please read your second series. That's never how it works.
Yeah, you talk
That
about
really
this
never happened.
guy here that everyone's like, I think that might be Shigaraki because of the
Yeah,
foot
it's
shot.
Tenko for some reason, which is so goofy, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the only logic that I have seen as to why it could make any sense that that might be Tenko is that it was like a clone version that they kept in a lab or something, just in case something happened to the original, um, that like escaped or
Oh
whatever.
yes, previously established plot points.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I
I'm
still
pretty
think it's
sure
funny that they have Dobby in like a Super Saiyan pod thing,
they
like
got
on
him in the
Namek.
fucking Iron Lungberg.
Yeah, well, like I like remember on Namek when they're like, "Shit, Goku's in the healing pod. We gotta fight her."
Yeah,
That's what Davi's
yeah,
in right now. But
uh,
Toga needed to give 100% of her
yeah.
blood to Ochako for a knife
Every
wound.
single drop from a knife wound. I'm pretty sure this new villain is just gonna be a chance for Deku to not fail this time. It's gonna be the narrative equivalent of, oh my god, here you go, fine, go succeed.
Yeah, like this villain's gonna be like, "I'm feeling hopeless," and then Deku's gonna be like,
And Deku's gonna
"Don't
be like, well, what
though."
if I killed you? And he'll be like, oh, okay.
It would suck if you died. You shouldn't die. And he's like, "All right, fine." And then yeah, and then that's probably why he looks visually like Shigaraki, so that
Yeah,
Deku can have like a
haha,
catharsis
parallels,
moment.
yippee.
Yeah, yeah,
I've also seen people say this is Spinner, and I'm like, okay, we're really just saying anything.
Spinner. What?
They made
But
Spinner white, I guess.
yeah, I was about to say. Well, I was gonna say they cured him, but then I realized that's completely opposite to what the actual lore of this is. That would be kind of fucked up, actually, if they were like, "Oh, it's Spinner is a person now, so he no longer has to struggle."
Pretty sure it's just a guy that
I
Deku is
think
going to
it's just a
save,
guy. Yeah.
and it's going to feel like the most unearned event in Shonen Jump history. I'm sure the Todoroki stuff will probably be okay though, at least because it's usually at least okay.
Yeah, the Todoroki stuff is like my last bastion of, oh my god, there might be good content in here somewhere.
I've seen people on Twitter who are like, they're gonna pull the plug on Dobby, and I'm like, we come this far, and we're just gonna pull the plug on
I
him.
would fucking die if the next chapter starts with them taking Davi off life support.
Like, you don't. have him come this far to just pull the plug on him. I don't think. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, you could have just had him die in the
Yeah.
fucking battle if you wanted to do that, like everybody else did. Oh my god, but could you fucking imagine if the end of next chapter is just a zoomed in close up of Shoto's hand pulling the plug out of the wall?
Oh, dude, the bait with like a double page spread of Shoto pulling the plug, and then the next chapter he's like, "I'm taking my phone charger to the hospital," and it's him unplugging like a USB-C.
Oh my god, no, but dude,
um,
I kind of need this now. Now I'm happy that he lived because I need the full explanation from everyone about how he's gotta die also. I need the entire Todoroki family to be like, actually, he's also gotta die.
I think the main way to fumble this would be to make this primarily about Endeavor again. I think it's time for Endeavor to call it quits. I think he
To
need.
shut up and fuck off for a little while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this needs to be mostly between Shoto and Toya, if anything.
Yeah, well, we do see Endeavor in the wheelchair.
Yeah, let's just push
So
him out real quick.
yeah, he can't do anything about it. Just wheel him out of the room.
I think next chapter, maybe even the next two chapters, will probably be the conclusion of Todoroki family. And
Probably.
then hopefully we get Toga stuff, assuming that it's not her in a tombstone or in a tomb
Yeah, the
somewhere.
the toga stuff is gonna be Ochako visiting her grave and being like, "Damn, I'm glad you're dead," instead of seeing Deku's shitty haircut.
Oh, brother. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep, that's exactly what it's gonna be. It's exactly what it's gonna be.
God damn it, man.
All right. All right. Let's roll into top threes. What's your top three?
My top three was assembled with silly string and bubble. Because these last 2 weeks were not very exciting.
No, they were not.
Number three is Ruri Dragon. Number two is Sakamoto Days. Number one is Kagurabachi.
All right. I got number three at Green Green Greens, number two at Sakamoto Days, number one at Kagurabachi.
Zen always wants to be different, man.
So we'll start with Ruri Dragon.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was okay. I
It's
like
about
Ruri
all.
Dragon still.
It's about all I got.
Yeah, God, there's like nothing to talk about this week. I like Ruri Dragon still. It's very cozy. It's a very cozy series.
Yeah, it really sucks that we have to wait longer for him now because I do enjoy him quite a bit.
Yeah. Out of everything that drops lately, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I liked their little lunch, and they kind of like just got. Not
Yeah, that
even
was
a
nice.
ton really happened, and I kind of like at the end that they're like, we're on good terms. I'm still not like your best buddy or anything, but like
Mhm.
we can be cool. Because I feel it would have been really easy to end that with like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're great, and then they're actually just kind of like, all right, whatever. I think
Yeah, it
that's
was
fine.
cool. It was cool.
Yeah, that's literally all I have to say. So next up is Green Green Greens. I'm kind of sad that it's over.
Yeah, it was a nice series. Wasn't
Yeah, I
my
thought the
favorite,
ending
but
was
I had fun
cute.
with.
I get emotional when a mangaka is like basically just inserting himself in there at the end and giving
Yeah.
himself the little pep talk about like, uh, hard work doesn't always pay off, but it's okay to fail,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. The past few chapters were. It definitely felt like a metaphor for doing your own
Yeah,
thing in Weekly Shonen Jump, even if it leads to getting axed.
yeah, it was nice.
It was nice.
I
Green Green
really like the
Greens.
last spread of him hitting the ball into the
Yeah.
rain and the sunlight in the rain. Yeah,
Honestly, if you guys are looking for a quick read, I would recommend going through Green Green Greens real fast.
yeah. It's only 26 chapters. I
Yeah.
thought it was nice and it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It doesn't start off super incredible, but I think it goes
It's
some good
about
places
golf, you
after that.
know,
Yeah, it's
like
about golf, so there's only so much you can do. But I think it goes into some good places, some good emotional places.
yeah, yeah. I liked Green Green Greens. Sad it's gone, but it happens all the fucking
Yeah,
time, unfortunately.
unfortunately it does. Uh,
At some point, you steal your result.
yeah. All right, next we got Sakamoto Days.
This was the most I think I've ever seen for Sakamoto Days criticism about how old man just got one tap like that.
Yeah, he got fucking clapped immediately.
I saw a lot of people on Twitter are not very happy that he just went out like that. Personally, I don't. Maybe it's because I'm not like a big Sakamoto Days deeper, but I don't really care that much. I think it was cool.
I don't really care that much either that he died. I do think it's weird to have a bad guy whose powers, if you stress them out too much, they can just become anyone. I
Yeah.
feel like that raises a lot of problems. Are we gonna have the part where this guy like gets stressed out and becomes Sakamoto or something, and they're like fighting himself?
Honestly, non-zero chance, right?
Non-zero chance of that, yeah. But I don't know. I kind of like the stuff that happens like in the most recent chapter for Sakamoto a little
Yeah.
bit more than just when they're like, oh my God, we're fight like the fights are cool and all, but I like the little like espionage bits and like the plans to sneak
Yeah.
around and the
Yeah, it's
learning
been fun.
about new characters' weird powers and stuff.
Definitely feels like we're heading towards kind of an end game, though. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
We're
I mean,
kind of in like that
there's
that
only so much you can
yeah.
do with this kind of
We're
premise, you know?
we're kind of in that post like everything went to shit setting now, you know?
Yeah, where it's like, oh God, everything's bad.
Yeah.
Um, and Nagamo is like borderline on the team now, so that's like,
Yeah.
you've got
Yeah,
your
we got
end
some new
game
order members
squad or
too.
whatever. Yeah.
Sakamoto Days is fun. Again, I think for both Zed and I, nothing in these past few chapters for anything has Kagurabachi has
Well,
changed our lives, so we don't really have much to say about anything
yeah,
right now.
yeah. It was fine. It was pretty good. I liked it. All right, let's talk about the goat,
Done with the filler. Let's
Kagurabachi.
go.
Let's talk about that fucking goat.
All right, we
This
gotta
shit
talk.
slammed.
Yeah, we gotta talk about how Shiba is actually fucking broken.
Yes. Well, everyone's kind of cracked now. All of a sudden, like, damn,
Dude,
shit
Shiba
fucking
might be
rules.
#1, dude. He's fucking insane. I also these are some notes from before I sent you my big paragraph that I DM'd you about the arc. Um, a big part of this arc is definitely recontextualizing Chihiro's relationship with his father. I think for sure. You have
Yeah,
like
like
this
especially
entire
the stuff
clan,
with the the evil
Tenri.
brother, Tenri. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
You have this whole clan or family that moves to protect their dad's legacy, right? And it's like, really makes you think. um, they're all fighting to uphold the suffering that their father brings, and it kind of Chihiro kind of has to stop for a second and be like, hey, the swords that my dad made can be interpreted to be bring suffering. Am I also fighting to preserve that legacy? And it's a really interesting kind of clashing perspective there. Um, I also have a note here that says Hakuri better than Bakugo. The 8 ball says yes, which is obvious. Yeah.
It's absolutely true, unfortunately. Um,
um,
Hakuri kind of slams now.
yeah. The big paragraph I sent Zen was basically talking about how this arc in particular, and I'm gonna make an entire video about this. The second Kagurabachi video will be coming. Is that this arc is largely talking about family tradition and tradition at large, and how tradition is not an inherently bad thing, but the way traditions are largely wielded fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and the way it's used by a lot of conservative establishments is used as a cudgel to hurt those that are different, like Hakuri, who largely suffered for most of his life. And as I mentioned earlier, Chihiro is forced to re-examine his relationship with his dad and the desire to carry his ambition. And we have to wonder if the path that Chihiro was on is in itself birthing a toxic tradition with the swords. Um, Hakuri was beaten and abused because of his family traditions. Chihiro is now working to validate his interpretation of his dad's work. And then Hakuri manifests his own storehouse, a tool of tradition used to harm people all over Japan and treat them as property. But obviously, Hakuri is going to be in a position to change the interpretation of the storehouse, just like Chihiro is trying to change the interpretation of the sword, which is a cool parallel they have going on.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Hakuri's little awakening moment went super hard.
Yeah,
When he finally like they give the explanation to why he hasn't had the
yeah,
ability that his siblings have is because he's been subconsciously held back by this other power.
mhm,
Him obliterating his piece of shit brother was a huge feel good moment. Really enjoyed that.
yeah,
But I think my favorite chapter was the flashback chapter, where he's just talking to the girl with the ice power that she can't control
yeah,
it. Uh, did not expect it to end with her killing herself. Did not expect that at
yeah,
all. I thought she was going to die. I was very sure she was going to
yeah,
die. I thought what was going to happen was that they were going to get caught by the shit brother, and he was going to kill her and like beat the shit out
mhm,
of him or whatever, just to like pile on. But the fact that she just cuts her own throat the minute she gets out of there
yeah.
is crazy.
It's a big wake up call for him because obviously he was already suffering under his family's tradition, but
But
then he
see,
sees how it
yeah,
impacts somebody else.
he was still in that state of like, this
Yeah,
is what I got to do. And then when he has that moment of like, I
he's like,
kind
holy.
of caused this. Um,
Yeah.
despite this being a good person who was just trying to do good things. Like, there's someone who was objectively kind to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I caused this to happen more or less by reinforcing that their life would be miserable no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking brutal, man. Fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's tough. I've seen some people talk about how they like how this arc touches on familial abuse. I don't have much experience with that personally, so I can't really speak on that too much, but a lot of people resonate with that hardcore. Fucking great arc. Maybe
So
better than the
good.
first. We'll see how it ends.
Yeah, if the only thing I think holding this arc back from being as good as the first is it doesn't have a standout like Sojo. Um,
Yeah.
because I think the dad is not a super sufficient like. I mean, he's a fine bad guy. I don't dislike him or
Yeah.
anything, but Sojo was such a standout
Yeah, he was
presence.
iconic.
Yeah, but also like the paneling and everything has I think improved a lot in this arc.
Hmm.
Like them having the conversation across the bars, but it's never framed in a way that you can see
Hmm.
where the actual cage is. So they're constantly talking just through bars that they could look like they're both in one the whole time. It's fucking good,
Hmm.
man. It's so good.
I'm excited to see how the father cooks more too.
Yeah, the father's got to have something because the guards are gone. All his fighters are gone. And the reasoning here is that like remember they said that he couldn't use his abilities that well because of having the storehouse, but
Yeah.
now like because the dad has it, does that mean that like he can't fight very well? I presume.
Yeah.
Um,
Guess we'll
'Cause,
see.
I
We're
mean,
probably
even
about to find out
before,
next
didn't
chapter.
he say like if we fight, I'll lose, but
Yeah.
I can fuck with the stuff in the storehouse? So is it gonna be like a battle of Hakuri has to prevent him from doing stuff in the store? Like I wonder how their abilities are gonna interact, basically, which I think is probably where it's gonna
So
go.
if Hakuria has his own storehouse and the main storehouse gets passed down through the generations, if it gets passed to Hakuri, will he have the full mask?
Oh, that would be sick. That would be sick as hell if he has the other side of the mask.
That'd be
I
kind of
don't,
hard, man.
I don't know. Well, because like so, this is his own storehouse that he has. It's not connected to the main one.
I might be wrong, but I don't think it's connected. I think it's his own storehouse. Yeah, that's why I had all the tools of the abuse he suffered. Because I feel like if that was in the main storehouse, the dad probably would have noticed.
But why would the dad care? It's just a pair of like pliers.
Yeah, but he seems to have like a full like because he has a full inventory of everything that goes in. So that at some point there will be like fucking random chairs and shit that he got beat with, pliers and shit. And he'd be like, "What is going on?"
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like maybe it's just like you gotta have shit in there, right? Like it is a storehouse
he's got
still.
yeah, he's got to build some, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe one of the fucking cages breaks. What are they? Magic cages?
Setting up a fucking IKEA table in there.
Like I don't know, but yeah, like I don't know. Either way, oh man, if he gets the full mask, that'll be pretty badass. And now he
Kagurabachi is
actually
the
gets
best
to
thing in the
like
magazine.
the only thing I hope doesn't happen is I hope they don't use this to like write Hakuri out, and he's like, I gotta like lead my family now that my dad's gone. I'm the only one left.
Nah,
So I
nah. He's
hope
gonna be here.
I hope
Trust.
he's around still.
He's gonna be chilling. Trust the process.
I will say the only thing that I wasn't super huge on is I'm a little sad the fight
Tenry,
with
right?
Tenri ended like
Yeah,
instantly.
I would. I don't think I'm really disappointed, but I was just a little shocked. I think I was like, "Oh wow, that
Well, I think
is
the
he's dead."
disappointment for me more comes from I was hoping that this would be a way to have somebody who could match a blade, so it wasn't
Yeah,
constantly just like Chihiro stomps the shit out of goons
yeah.
until someone with a blade comes around. Um, so I was like, oh, this is cool. So now people can like become serious threats, but they'll die shortly afterward.
Yeah,
And then it turns out that Chihiro, even with only one Mei left, just completely outclassed him beyond all words
yeah.
and obliterated him.
I saw some people in your replies being like, "Oh well, the point is that he couldn't give him an honorable death," and it's like, yeah, we get the point, but like,
Yeah, I don't care
it's
about that much though. Like
yeah,
I'm here
it's
for
not what you're talking
like
about. Yeah,
yeah, I was talking about how it would be nice to have a way to initiate battles in this series that aren't like because you think the people that Chihiro can fight, like you have Sojo, right? You have like others because we've seen what happens even when
yeah.
the strongest sorcerers fight someone with a blade. When the team that was designed specifically to beat Sojo got their shit absolutely obliterated 6-1. They couldn't do
Hmm.
anything. You
Hmm.
have Hyuki, who is for some reason as strong as one. It's like the only person in the world that's as strong as a
Yeah.
sword without some other external thing. And then you have like this other sorcerer guy from the evil crew who like mildly inconvenienced Chihiro for like a minute. Um, and Chihiro, but like he was only there in the context of like you could kill me, but then you won't be able to help your friend because you'll
Yeah.
run out of power. So you got to pick one. Not like I'm an actual threat, you know. And
Yeah.
after a while, I do want to have some combat that isn't just like Chihiro either fights one of the most powerful, prodigious people in history, or he just mops
Mhm.
goons. You know,
Mhm.
like there's a reason
Yeah.
all the color pages for Kagurabachi are basically just Chihiro standing in a pile of goon corpses.
Yeah. No, I definitely get the complaint. I don't really know how to word it otherwise. Like other than like I totally get it, but I also don't care personally. Like, I don't,
Fair, yeah.
it
I
hasn't
do think
bothered me
it's at
yet.
its
Maybe
most
maybe later.
interesting when there's like more stuff going on than just
Yeah.
fighting. But I don't know. I'm gonna get kind of bored if it's just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Maybe it'll be
Chihiro's got to
something that
fight.
gets to me later.
This person now also either has a blade for some
Mhm.
reason, or they're like the most prodigious master warrior. Like, there's got to be just some normal people out there in the
Just
world.
just a guy.
Just a dude that doesn't get immediately like blasted by a fucking goldfish.
Yeah, great series though. Great
Yeah,
series.
yeah,
Best in the
absolutely amazing.
magazine.
I'm gonna be kind of sad when they have to put Cloud Gouger down after this, because
I
it's used up
know.
all of
It's so cool, man.
its aura has been used.
Such a fucking cool sword.
It is cool. I wanted to see him use them in like together just one time.
Don't worry, he's gonna reforge it later. It's okay.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think even if he could, I don't think he would. I think he would just let
I'll
it. I think he would
I'll
just let it
reforge it. It's
go.
fine.
I'll handle it.
I'll reforge it and send it to you so you can have it on your wall.
Thank you. That would be nice. Just a little,
Yeah.
yeah. In case anything needs to get done, I can just.
Just fucking hit it with cloud couch.
Yeah. Well, I learned from Deku, so if anything bad happens,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
Cloud Gouger the person immediately.
Yeah, your landlord comes and you
Yeah.
fucking good MHA ending. He fucking 100% smashes his landlord.
I would actually. That would be better than what happened.
It would be.
Landlords
Landlords
are
are the
more
true
evil.
villains,
Yeah,
boys and
landlords are more
girls.
evil than Tenko Shimura ever was. I'll put that out there right now.
Shigaraki blushes when he hears about a landlord raising rent.
At one point, that's actually what made him rebel, because All for One was like, once I become the Demon Lord, we're gonna raise rent to triple the income rate, and he was like, oh my God, Deku, help me!
AFO
You
took
have to
over
kill me
Shigaraki's
immediately.
body. AFO took over Shigaraki's body and started charging Shigaraki rent, and that's why he took his body back
Oh God.
over.
All right, I guess now we got to
Lightning
jump
round.
into the lightning round. This is gonna be the least enthusiastic lightning round y'all have ever heard in your lives. But yeah, let's
Not when
get
we
into
not
it.
when we start with the first one. Chainsaw Man.
Listen, the Gooner chapter was hilarious. I'm sorry, and it's funny because all right, I need to wax philosophical for a minute. It's weird to, in my opinion, look at that Chainsaw Man chapter and then be like, oh, but people make fun of what's the Goon series that we don't like? Nue's Exorcist.
Nue's Exorcist.
People make fun of Nue's Exorcist, but then read this, but like it's different, man.
I think
The
we
Chainsaw
have.
Man panels were so like viscerally uncomfortable, despite being much more explicit.
I
Like,
think. First of all, by the way, I think it's fine to dislike these chapters. That's whatever.
oh yeah, it's totally
But
fine.
but I think we have gone too far with the concept of like not being able, like finding it weird to portray sexuality in
In
media at
any
all.
fashion, yeah. So like the issue with it, in for me at least, with Nue's Exorcist, is that it's always portrayed in like a really weird borderline, like fan service, I guess is the word for it, but almost like wish fulfillment y kind of way.
Doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, at least from what we read, didn't serve an overall narrative purpose. It was just so that for self-insert shit because Gakuro was
Yes,
such a boring protagonist.
yes, because Gakuro sucks, and he's like, your typical nerd, stereotypical dweeb, and then he's like, look,
Yeah.
you're also a dweeb reading this, and look at the pretty girl he's holding hands with to go to sleep, which apparently happens again. He's showing other panels, like Jesus, they're still doing this, where he just like has to be
Chainsaw
holding
Man,
hands.
Chainsaw Man and sexuality have always been kind of like heavily intertwined.
Yes, and in intentionally uncomfortable ways, like
I
You know,
mean,
that
part
that
one was all
wasn't
about
like
it.
a wish fulfillment chapter.
Yeah, part one was literally all about a teenager being groomed by a grown woman. So
Yes. And then what happened right there was like, I mean, I've seen people get into the weeds about this, and I don't want to argue too hard about it because it's a fucking comic book, but at least on some level, that was some manner of, and then maybe not assault, but certainly not like an intimate encounter. That was War literally grabbing his dude and being like, all right, I'm going to fucking touch. This is very hard to talk about in ways that
it's
are not going to get me demonetized.
I definitely see the perspective that it's assault. Um, and I've seen people be upset that next chapter doesn't really kind of seem to take that seriously. However, I don't think it's something that's going to be tackled in one chapter.
One, I don't think it's something that's going to be tackled in one chapter.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know that Denji is the type of character to care that much about it. I mean, as weird as that sounds,
He's definitely the kind of guy to have the dude bro mentality of like,
of like,
oh, the
whoa,
guy I can't be assaulted.
yeah. But also, like, I think at this point, well, no matter what happened to him, the reveal from War that Asa has feelings for him overrides all of it. He doesn't care about anything else. Like that is, in my opinion, is what he is like in shock over in this part. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that like to look at the Chainsaw Man chapter and then to look at something like Nue and say that these are the same
It's,
type of content
there
is just not the case.
there was really nothing sexy about this chapter, dude.
No,
Like
it was
it's really,
uncomfortable and gross. Yeah, it was not.
especially with Fujimoto, the way Fujimoto drew it, there's really
Yes.
nothing.
No, there was nothing attractive about that at all. And then I've seen a lot of weird, like, first of all, Fujimoto's kind of a freak, and like you just know that, right? Like there are certain creators that are just freaks. Like who's the Nier guy?
Oh, I don't
Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro's a freak. That dude's just a freak, right? And you just accept that. That's just part of him. That he's just a freak. Like you know that going in. Fujimoto, dude's a freak. He's just a weirdo. Like he's a fucking weird guy. The dude like cosplayed as his baby sister that may not exist. I don't know. Isn't he the one that told the story about how he killed a girlfriend's fish and ate it
Yes.
accidentally and it made him sick? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude's a freak. Dude's a weirdo. There's gonna be
No.
weirdo shit in his stories, and it's weird to see people on both sides of the aisle. Like one side being like, Fujimoto is actually this deep feminist writer, and I'm like, I don't think that's true. But then the other side being like, oh, he's demonizing women and relationships. I was like, I don't think that's true either. I think he's just a kind of a freak. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah, the really the only thing about the discourse that I saw that I didn't like was the fact that it was sexual automatically making it weird, which I don't think is
No, I
it's
don't
not
think that that's true.
that's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, I think the way it was presented, you can certainly argue is plenty
Yes.
weird. I think it was intended to make you uncomfortable, but I don't
Like
think
it
that the fact that it pertained to anything with the
if
mechanical
it
act of a sexual nature
yeah,
makes it weird by default.
it just feels so strange how many people are so opposed to any sexual portrayal in fiction now,
Well, it's
even though
weird,
it's
right?
like
Like it feels like
it's such a ubiquitous human experience.
yeah, like it's a universal experience for most people.
Except for people who read Shonen Jump, apparently, I
Except
guess.
yeah, except people who really like Nue's Exorcist. It's a universal experience. And like the I remember a while ago, like a long while ago, like 2 years ago, talking with Oshaman on one of these, and he was talking about how both My Hero and Naruto kind of have this issue where they're in like the most sterile, sexless worlds imaginable, where characters
Mhm.
can't even like really necessarily express too much interest in one another, or if they do, it always has to be like super like, oh geez, I'm so embarrassed, like
Yeah.
Uraraka and Deku, or like the way Hinata acts towards Naruto. Um, and then they want to time skip it and like sell to you that at some point throughout the end of the series, the beginning of the
Yeah.
next one, they have like acquired human existences and have kids and shit now.
Yeah.
And it feels weird that like you can't portray any sort of feeling between two people at all in media. And a lot of people agreed back then that they were like, yeah, it is a little bit weird that, these people are
Like
like growing up and they're not allowed to have any sort of like the only time they're allowed to have any sort of feeling that looks like that, it has to be like a Mineta style character where it's just gross and he's
yeah.
a fucking weirdo. Like no one
Dude,
can have a believable feeling about it. And now
you
it's like, ew, they're like looking at each other vaguely. Like
you
it's
look back through human history, a crazy amount of that was spurred on by an absurd amount of lust.
Oh yeah, no, dude, everything, everything. And I'm not saying that you need to like make manga sexy again or whatever. That's not really
No,
the point I'm trying to make.
it's just that you can portray it. It's
You
fine.
can show it, and the fact that it exists isn't weird. And it's
And
so weird to me the number of people who are like so comfortable being weirdly like horny in social spaces, especially Twitter, that are like totally comfortable just saying outlandish, fucking insane shit to real human beings they've never met before and will never meet again, or like posting ridiculous like art of all this stuff, but then it's in a story and they're like gun to their head, man. They're like ready to jump off the cliff right there. It's
yeah, I
crazy to me.
yeah, I don't quite get it. And like you and Oshima talked about, those sterile stories, those can still exist too. Like they can both exist. That's
Yeah, you
fine.
can have like it's just weird. It's just weird. Then like
But
it wasn't glorifying it. It certainly wasn't glorifying it. It wasn't
there's
really
yeah,
pushing it. Like it's not all
it's
of a sudden they're
fucking weird,
gonna.
man.
Yeah, it was weird. It was super weird. And at no point are they gonna like transition this into like, uh-oh, that's just what they do now. They just fuck
Hopefully.
now. Yeah, I guess
Hopefully.
hopefully. I guess they don't. I hope they don't have the awkward first hand job in the alley too many times. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It feels weird that there was a huge backlash just to the fact that sex existed in media for a moment. And it's kind of been like, I don't know how much you just like scroll Twitter when you're bored, but that's what I do when I'm fucking bored at
It's
work.
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, it's kind of like a big Puritan wave, basically.
Yeah, there's like and it covers a lot of media. Like there was a whole thing a while ago where it was like, hey, why do we even have sex scenes in movies? Because they never add anything. And it's like, well, that's not true.
So
Like,
disingenuous.
yeah, it's just such a weird, like, counterintuitive wave all of a sudden where anything containing any sort of like physical intimacy is automatically like weird and unacceptable and like
The
as if
the
all
du-
people don't do that or
the
want to do
duality,
that at least.
yeah, the duality of art being like a representation of like human connection and consciousness, but also denying one of such a
The most
fundamental
like,
human experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
like primal version of that.
yeah.
I guess I should specify because I just said that everyone wants to. I know there are asexual people, and I know that there are some of you that just don't want to.
He's just
That's
being
fine.
hyperbolic.
I'm being hyperbolic and very general. Like statistically, there are more people that want to than those that don't. I do acknowledge that there are some of you that don't,
Yes.
but yes, I'm speaking in generalities here. And it does seem weird. And seeing the same people who like have no qualms about going into like Pokemon's mentions and just writing like the weirdest, most cringe shit you've ever seen in your entire life also be like, I can't believe this. Why would you put this in my
Yeah.
cool demon comic book? It's just
Like
weird, man. It's weird.
obviously sex scenes can be bad, but so can every scene.
Anything can be
Obviously.
bad. Yeah, like it
Yeah.
can be good
Read
or
My
bad if
Hero
it's done well.
Academia, bro. That shit's sterile and it sucks.
Yeah, you don't need to have a sex scene to suck, and a sex scene can also be good at times.
Yeah.
Like it depends on the media that you're looking at. Personally, I think that the one in Chainsaw Man got across the point that it was going for. It was
It
uncomfortable and weird, and it wanted to
it can
be.
be good. Yeah, it really depends on how it goes after this, but it can be good.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
perfectly fine if you don't like it. I just wish you
just
didn't like it for a reason other than like it's weird that the sex exists.
seeing the timeline and have such like a meltdown about it was so crazy to me because like it's not like it's just a fucking
It
hand job
wasn't
scene. I
even
don't know.
that deep of like a sex scene. It was an entirely
Like
censored.
everyone was going like, "Oh, Chainsaw Man's finished," and I was like, "Why? Wait, why though?"
It
Like
was an
I get
entirely censored hand job and then like some cum. That was it.
as someone who has not been enjoying CSM Part Two that much, this is what got you there. Like,
Yeah, really, right? Yeah, this can't be the worst thing that you've had to deal with in part two so far.
like this has maybe some of the most interesting implications in a while, personally, but it can also very easily be fumbled as well.
Oh yeah, and again, Fujimoto's kind of a freak, so he might just
Yeah,
fumble it because he's kind of a freak. We'll see. I don't know, but it just seems weird to have backlash to the existence of physical intimacy in a story. Like
yeah,
not I don't know, and I don't know how many of this is just that like a lot of them are fucking young people, like super young people.
yeah.
Um,
If you have issues with the scene itself for narrative reasons, that's fair. And honestly, I would probably agree with you if I heard them. If you have issues with it because it's sexual, I don't know what to tell you, man.
yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
You're
I
probably 14.
probably yeah. And I think that there's enough of a backlash for your characters like Mineta, like Master Roshi, and all that kind of stuff that like it just kind of all gets lumped together now, and so like you can't have a positive depiction of any sort of physically
Hmm.
intimate encounter without someone being like, "Oh, fucking freak," and it's like, man, it's not always like this is not the same kind of. If you can't look at this weird, viscerally uncomfortable, awkward alley hand job or whatever you want to call it, and a scene from the Dragon Ball anime where Master Roshi dive bombs Android 18 and motorboats her against her will, like as
Yeah,
that's a real scene by the way.
yeah.
And you look at those two and you're like, this is the same content. I'm not
These
necessarily
are,
saying the Chainsaw Man one is better necessarily, but they're most certainly not the same thing.
one is playing basically assault as a gag,
Correct.
which is not funny at all, actually, in the slightest.
And then there's another like, and I guess you could argue that Chainsaw Man is kind of making light of it. I don't think that it is personally,
Really
especially
depends on
because
the
there's
follow up, I guess.
well, yeah, it depends on where the follow-up goes. But I know that some people were complaining in this one that like the English translation was that Asa saying he's gonna think I'm a slut now because of that, when apparently the Japanese version is something more closely related to like a molester or something.
Yeah, I've
Um,
also heard there were issues with that person's translation, and apparently they don't actually even speak Japanese. I don't even know, man. I don't.
I don't know. It's impossible to tell with translation shit because people just be saying whatever.
Yeah, they just make
Um,
things up.
they just make things up. But like I don't know. I don't know. I think that the potential implication of Asa and Denji like having feelings for one another is fine and acceptable. And honestly, just like what people do.
Yes, it is
Humans
what
just
happens. In
do
fact,
that. Yeah. Humans just feel things for each
I
other
will
at times.
say, definitely a tough period of time to be known as Asa. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, you picked a real rough handle for this one.
Yeah, well, what can you do? It is what it is.
All
I need
right.
Kagurabachi to introduce a character named Asa, man. Save me, please.
Yes, rescue you.
All right, now we can get to the real lightning.
Yes.
Let me see. I didn't luck. It was good.
It's fine. Fuko's mom is cute. Fuko's mom also is just kind of Fuko. Um,
Yeah,
but I think that's okay because I like Fuko, so whatever.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, sure. Yosafam. It's been okay.
It's been okay. Hey,
Better dynamic than Deku and Shiggy.
yes, but hey, why are the fucking kids in this story? What? What? I'm so fucking confused as to why they stopped the story for a while and they're like, well, now we're gonna just make the story about these kids. And now they're doing this,
And
and
now
the
we're gonna
kids are
end it.
not part of it at all, and it's way better than it would have been if they had stayed focused on the kid. Like,
I
just
guess
don't do that part.
solely so Asa's goal can be to kill the kids. Really, I guess that's it.
It really feels like the only reason they're there is so that Asa can like attack to try to kill them.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe will our heroes will like lose this one, and the kids will have to
This
save
is
them. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know.
But it just like as soon as the story stops focusing on the fucking kids and gets back to like the characters that we spent all that time actually knowing, it becomes pretty good again.
Oh, that reminds me too, because I saw it next to Yosafam in the thing. Elusive Samurai's getting an anime, right?
Oh yeah, I guess it is. I haven't read that shit in so
I
long.
saw I saw like a couple shots of it. It looked nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I really like the guy who makes Elusive Samurai. It's the same guy who made Assassination Classroom.
Oh,
Yeah, if you didn't know that, the person who made
I did
Assassination
not.
Classroom is the mangaka for Elusive Samurai.
That's cool.
I don't really vibe too hard with Elusive Samurai, but I really like Assassination Classroom, so I'm glad he is finding more success.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, watch Elusive Samurai if you like it.
Blue Box. It's been cute.
It's been cute. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. It's cute. I don't know why
Yeah.
they're leaning so hard into the sports lately, like, because it seems like they didn't for a really long time, and now it's like all they're doing. And I don't know if it's because he's like, I am running out of romance stuff to do. But I like sports manga, so I like it,
I
and it's
like.
been cute.
I've been liking the progression with Taiki though. It's been nice.
Yeah, and I kind of like
Taiki
the
and Chinasuke.
yeah the him like learning more about her and how she's like can sometimes be surprisingly clingy and stuff when he talks about
Yeah.
like when she hugs him and all that stuff. It was cute, and then I like the mom
Yeah.
getting the little bit about like you're doing all this stuff. It's crazy, and she's like, yeah, I'm worn out, but I'm doing it for my kid.
Yeah.
That's
It's been fun. It's
cute.
been fun.
It's a cute little commentary on how moms are not always seen for what they do.
Mhm.
It's cute.
Psych House. It's okay.
It's fine. I don't love it. Um,
This series did make me start. We should start a countdown or like a timer or whatever. How long will it take for a weekly Shonen Jump series that has a female main character? How long will it take for them to be drawn naked? And this one hit it in 2 chapters.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's a series about a little buckethead guy and this girl, and I don't know what to make of it. It's fine. I don't really care about it. It's only 5 chapters, so I guess it's like normal.
It's been
You
okay.
can't you can't really care too much within 5 chapters unless it's Kagurabachi, I guess.
Kagurabachi, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
But yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Astro Royale. This shit is so boring,
I
man.
am extremely bored. Yeah.
Do you want to stop
I
reading it?
kinda like it's
It's
just
so boring.
every
It's
time
so
something
so so
happens, I'm
agonizing.
like, dude, what? I don't give a shit about this actually. You know what it
Oh my
reminds me
god.
of?
So, Tokyo
That
Avenger.
recently canceled series, Ayashimon, I think it was what it was called.
Uh,
Um, it reminds me of that because there's just like a bunch of like talking about nothing, and then stuff happens, and it's not very interesting stuff. Like
dude,
I
Astro
kind of
Royale
liked
is.
Ayashimon like when it got going, and this feels very much like the beginning of that, where it's like we're trying really hard to get going to something that you might find interesting, but they just can't find it.
It's so boring. If you ever want to drop it, let me know, man. I can't. It's like it actually like kills all my momentum when I'm reading.
Oh man, are we gonna impromptu live cancel Astro? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm not doing it
Oh,
anymore.
thank you,
Astro
thank you.
Royale in the bin.
It's so boring.
It's
I'm
really
sorry, Astro
boring.
Heads. Not even the star text could save it for me, dude. It's so boring.
It's extremely just not interesting.
If this
Yeah,
was
there
eight
was even like a
chapters,
haunted house looking in this one, and I like that's my
yeah.
like aesthetic. Like I liked Thriller
Mhm.
Bark for an example of how much that's my aesthetic. Um, and I was like, damn, even that can't get me to really give a shit about what's going on. That's crazy.
If Astro Royale drops its premise and it just starts talking about space, let me know. Then I'll tap back in. Okay.
If it just abandons the entire thing.
Yeah. Next up is Kyokuto Necromance. Honestly, it's been okay. I don't dislike this one.
I don't dislike it. It feels a little on the generic side, but it's so early
Yeah.
that it's hard to be anything else.
It's been all
You
right.
know?
It's been all right.
Yeah, I think it has the most personality in its art
Mhm.
out of the newer ones. Um,
Oh yeah, I hate Astro Royale's art. I also didn't like seeing Tokyo Revengers art, but like ew.
yeah, Ash Royale's art is rough. It's very stylized, and that's fine.
It's really
Um,
not my thing.
but it's not my thing. I think that Kyokuto Necromance cuts a good midline between like having some style and still being visually appealing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's fine. It's not my favorite Exorcist series, which in a Shonen Jump you're gonna have to pull it out eventually if you're an Exorcist series, but it's fine. It's not
Yeah.
offensive or anything.
Is the last one then Kill Blue?
I think so. Let me do the cursory scroll through.
I don't think I'm missing anything. I think it's just Kill Blue.
Yep, it's just Kill Blue.
Uh, this stuff has been fine.
Yeah, it's still just okay. Again, I really like the author of Kill Blue because he makes another series that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, it's Kuroko's Basketball for any of you who doesn't know, same guy. But like, it's just hard for me to get too interested. I don't know. It was fine. Um, again, I like the spooky house angle. I like
Mhm.
spooky stuff. It's interesting to me. It's fun. Gives me a good time. But it's not blowing me away. It's fine.
Yeah, it's been fine.
All right,
Yeah,
well there you
very
go. The
exciting
the
chapters,
least
huh?
yeah the least enthusiastic lightning round you've ever seen, except for that we were talking Chainsaw Man for a while. That is definitely getting this video demonetized. So by all means, check out the Patreon because I ain't making my traditional $2 off this one. Um, yeah, I guess I might as well do the spiel. We do have the Patreon back up. I am not forcing Asa to work on it yet. If you want Asa to work on it, leave some comments down below. I'll hold the gun to his head. We'll make it happen. But for now, it's going to be just a retread of the
I
old
may
Patreon style.
I may whine and cry, but if he puts the gun in my head, I'll do it.
See, you just let us know in the comments if you need some Asa on the Patreon content. But yeah, right now it's just going to be based on what tier you subscribe to will be how far I'll read into a series of your choice, and then we'll have a Patreon exclusive for a little bit video. It'll go up like the middle of the week. It will not be this week, but the following one is where the first one's going to go up. It's going to be on Dan to Dan because people have been trying to get that through for like a year and a half. It's finally happened. So I'm gonna have to be doing a little bit
Uh,
of work on that, but it'll go up on the Patreon around midweek, like Wednesday-ish, anywhere between Tuesday and Thursday, probably, depending on my work schedule. And then obviously when Shonen and Chill goes up, it will go up like the day after that. So when Shonen and Chill hits on the weekend, the Patreon exclusive vid will hit the following day. So you'll still get to see the stuff up there. You just won't get to have a hand in what gets read unless you join the Patreon.
Join
And
the
otherwise,
Patreon or else.
join the Patreon. Yeah, do it. So I can say mean things about stuff you like, probably.
Join the Patreon, otherwise Ocean Man will never come back.
We've got his soul in the rice cooker like King Piccolo. And if you join
I
the
got his
Patreon, you can
phylactery,
come
yeah.
out.
I got his phylactery right here, and if you guys don't subscribe to the Patreon, I'm pushing it over and shattering.
Yeah, and if you do join the Patreon, maybe we'll bring him back in 3 weeks when MHA ends, and we can do the same thing we just did. But again,
Yippee! The Ocean Man episode was very fun. I had
it
a great
was
time.
very fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. It was nice to just have everybody around shooting the shit about bad
Yeah,
manga.
I miss him.
I miss him too, man. It's hard to have the same energy when it's only two people.
I know.
Because when you got three, you got that anytime someone needs a break from the flirting, someone else can jump right in.
Oh man.
We got so many comments on that where we're like, you did this on the first week of Pride Month on purpose.
True, true.
All planned.
Make sure you guys tune in next Pride Month.
We'll bring it back for one episode at the beginning of Pride Month every year. Oh my god, that means you're gonna have to start reading One Piece so he has something to talk about.
It's never been more over than it is right now. Also, I want to address real quick. Some people were commenting on the last episode saying that the "it's already destroyed" line from Deku, meaning that he's referring to the social change. It's been 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Nothing's happened.
it's been like not even that. Like, well, first of all, he's saying that before the fight's even over. Second,
Nothing's happened.
nothing's happened, and there's still just like hero schools, and like people are just still nothing seems to have changed in any capacity at all whatsoever. Actually, um,
Yeah, yeah. Nothing. Nothing's happened. I don't know.
yeah, it's
I don't
been
know.
like a week, I think. So,
I don't know where that reading is coming from, but cool, I
hey,
guess.
remember when the president said let's send all the heroes, and then they time skipped and they just didn't fucking do anything?
Actually, it showed Koichi in one panel.
That's true. He did get a cameo.
It was zoomed in, so you couldn't see him doing anything.
Well, 'cause what are they doing? What are they there to do? Just collect the rubble and move on?
I like to imagine that's Koichi in America, like he didn't actually go to Japan.
Yeah, he was like, no, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, it got crazy. I'm not going back.
I just wanted to say that I don't understand where that's coming from because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm sure we'll see. Actually, no, we won't see because it's not going to come out for another 2 weeks. We'll get a blissful week without it
Yeah.
next time. But that's all I got for this one. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Subscribe to the Patreon now.